So thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming to this meeting. And this meeting will be we'll be meeting on weekly basis, once a week, on a weekend, on a day of your choice, maybe Saturday, and the meeting or Sunday, and the meeting will be lasting for only 30 minutes. So without much further ado, I want to take this opportunity to ask each one of you to introduce themselves. So we are going to start with Mr. Chemite. Please take it away.
Okay, thank you very much, Pius. My name's Ruben Chemite. Currently, I'm a trainer, and I'm a data analyst at Blue Nile Analytica, and also a data scientist for that matter. Mr. Odhiambo is my classmate back at Kenyatta University in the late 90s. And I've known him for many years, about 10 years and more. And I got the opportunity to know him when we were working for the Survey Tuition School in Nairobi. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ruben Chemite. Mr. Gada, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, so hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Ogeda Frederick. I am a physics chemistry teacher with the TSC at Ndenga Secondary School in Siaya County, Ugenya Sub-County. I'm also the one in charge of ICT infrastructure in the school. Pius Odhiambo is my childhood friend. We went to neighboring primary schools, and then we did our KCSE the same year. So I've known him for all that period of time, and we have had an official engagement with him at the onset of a program known as Kiswate, which began in the year 2021 formally. And so far, I think we have worked with him well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ogeda, for that introduction. So my name is Pius Odhiambo. I'm a data scientist consultant based in Washington, D.C. in the United States of America, with several years of experience in the field. Before this, I was a high school teacher, and I worked with the Teacher Service Commission for a period of 10 years. My last duty station was Old Kajiado High School in Kajiado County, where I taught physics and maths, and I was also the head of the Department of E-Learning. So I left my station on Kajiado High School at the end of 2010 when I was relocating to the United States, and I've been in the United States since then. So guys, the reason why I've called you here is a very simple. The agenda is only one, and after that one agenda, we will move to AOB, and our meeting will take at most 30 minutes. I can see we have 21 more minutes to go. So the government of Kenya, through the Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy, is rolling out programs in Kenya that is going to benefit over 1 million Kenyans to work online through what we call job outsourcing. As you are all aware, that employment is a big issue, not only in Kenya, but many countries around the world or in Africa. So this is one of the ways of addressing the unemployment issue. But the problem is Kenyans do not have the facilities and the technical skills required for jobs that can be outsourced from countries from other countries like in Australia, in the United States, other African countries, also in Asia. So as Blue Nile Analytica, we need to come in and bridge the gap so that with this government program, we can have put as many Kenyans as possible in the digital job market. Now, most of these jobs are available in countries outside Kenya. One of them is data science, and that's our area of specialty. So the government of Kenya, through JITUME labs, have identified 17 technical institutions where they have donated around 100 computers and Wi-Fi internet, high-powered Wi-Fi internet, high-speed Wi-Fi internet. And in these labs, they will be managed by these technical institutions, and they are open to the members of the public. They are open to any member of the public that is capable of using them to do anything constructive that they want. If they want to work abroad, that's fine. They can go to the JITUME labs and work there for 8 hours every day, Monday to Friday. If they want to study online, they can go there and log in for a class of 2 hours. They are public resources. These are public resources that will be managed by the technical institutions. So the technical institutions will be managing these resources on behalf of the government of Kenya. Now, the objective of this meeting is to ask you, how can we get in this program as Blue Nile Analytica? And Mr. Kimite, being one of the technical instructors at the Eldoret National Polytechnic 10P, which is one of the 17 institutions, is here with us. And please, Mr. Kimite, can you please maybe tell us how we can come in as Blue Nile Analytica?
Yeah, thank you very much, Pius. I think when we talk about the digital economy, I think Blue Nile Analytica is coming in very strongly, as you've put it, to fill some gap which we have been having. Now, I remember when those fellows from Consa Technopolis, when they came around, they were wondering the speed of the internet that we have at the Eldoret National Polytechnic. And I want to say that we have internet, yes, as a college, but the internet is very slow. And I think they are coming in to bring such fast internet. So Blue Nile Analytica can come in very strongly. Remember, one of the ways in which Blue Analytica can come in is to source for the jobs. You are the link person in USA, because some of our youth here do not know which jobs exist online. So one of the ways that I would insist is to be a link. Sometimes back you mentioned about Indians being at home and doing some jobs online for American citizens. So I think Blue Nile Analytica can source for some of these jobs, and importantly, you become a guarantor to data scientists, junior data scientists who you have mentored, so that they can be able to do some of this work online. Another way that you can come in is to assist the government to roll out this program. I want to believe that whatever we have currently is just a pilot. So probably the government is planning to roll out more so that every Kenyan public can be able to access the internet. So Blue Nile Analytica can come in terms of providing the expertise, providing the technical know-how on what JITUME should do. The problem with Kenya is that we start very good programs, but those programs lack what we call sustainability. So we need to come in and ensure that the momentum is maintained. Now, another way in which Blue Nile Analytica can come in is by sharing the knowledge, sharing the expertise. Just like the way you are currently carrying out the mentorship program, we can develop these junior scientists who can source for this job. So I think one of the components of the JITUME is JITUME Kazi. There is one what we call JITUME Kazi, and we have the digital learning. So we can come in also on the aspect of learning. We train them on how they can do online jobs, you know, how they can work, how they can use the infrastructure, you know. The minister talked about, I mean, the CS talked about ICT, rolling out the fiber optic. So I think we can come in here to also look at the development of the infrastructure, besides offering the expertise that I've talked about. So I think that is one way in which Blue Nile Analytica can come in.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Banachimite. And now when you are
Yes.
talking about helping the government, you know the bureaucratic nature of any government anywhere in the world. So at this particular point, let's assume that you use the word government to mean the Eldoret National Polytechnic and the 16 others. So we want to engage the principals of these 17 technical colleges, and if they find it necessary that what we'll be proposing to them can add value to what they do, then it will be upon them now to approach the government collectively and bring us on board. So we don't want to go through the top. We want to go through the bottom because they're the consumers of these services. That's my point number one. My point number two, the question is, you want to outsource jobs. Do you have the skills? Do they have the skills? And these are skills that
and that's why
these are the skills that will be conducted online via the computer. So they need the internet, they need the computers. It's good that the government has provided the computers. The government has provided a high-speed internet. But now the human resource capital, do they have the skills? Can they use Zoom? Can they use Teams? Can they stay online from 8 to 5 p.m. working online without supervision, without dilly-dallying? Do they have the culture? So there are so much things. One, we'll have to evaluate whether they have the skills. In my area of specialization in data science, do we have data scientists who can do those jobs? That's number one. If there are no data scientists, then we start with training. Number two, even after training, they acquire the skills. Do they know the culture of the countries where these jobs will be coming from? Like here in America, we don't have lunch breaks. If you must have a lunch break, you only have a maximum of maybe 15 to 30 minutes, and everything is done on the clock. Now, if you bring that culture of them clocking in and you are paid per minute, you paid for your work for 5 minutes, you are not paid. You are late, you log in for work, and within the 8 hours that you're supposed to work, you spend your 15 minutes telling stories with your colleague and you are captured on camera. You are not paid for that. These are the culture we are talking about. So these are the things that we have to talk openly. And again, we don't want people, this will be an online job. We want them, when we bring them on, this should be their second job. They should have another job in Kenya, which they go physically. This is how the developed country works. So even if you are not formally employed, be a businessman, or sell the fruits or the juice to the university student or the college student. That one is your job in Kenya. Then this one become your second job. Because the problem is, if there's a disconnection of internet between Kenya and the rest of the world, or between Africa and the rest of the world, you will not work. So you need a backup. So these are the things that we need to confront from a very fair point of view. Are we ready? Now, of course, we have the capacity to do the three things that you have talked about. I've been doing training now for some time now, and my background is in teaching. So starting with the training will be very easy. We don't even need to do anything because we already have infrastructure on the ground, even right now in place. Even right now we are training for free online. For job outsourcing, this is something I'm going to do for the first time, if given a chance, and I will need time to do research and come up with a report. Come up with a report and share with you people. And when I'm doing this research, the training should go on so that people have got the skills. Now, 3, the soft skills, which I talk about the culture. The culture in the United States or in these other countries like Australia, is very different from the culture we have in Kenya and Africa. You may say something which means well in your African culture, but that is actually an abuse or an insult in the Americas, in the Canadian, in the Australia, or in the Middle East. So the soft skills, even after you are being trained, you have got the technical skills. You will have to, these people will have to accept so that they were trained about the culture of the country where the job is coming from. So that when they go there, they will not be working there with African culture. They'll be working there with American culture. They will be working there with Australian culture. They'll be working there with the Middle East culture. The culture is very, very different. But when you say we bring a job and we bring American boss to supervise that job, that is job you need to play for him. And then you start stuff like, in Africa, this is our culture. And we must do it according to our culture. Remember, this person has got nothing to do with your culture. What he wants is job done and he pays you well and he goes away. So if you are not able to remove that kind of pride, even if we train you, you are the best engineer, they are the best teacher, you are the best what? Doctor, it will not work. This is their job. You have to play according to their tune. When we started training, I did say after teaching, Mr. Ogena will find this one very funny. You give 5 to 15 minutes to the students or to the trainees so that they evaluate your lesson. And these people, when they're evaluating their lesson, they don't care. They give you negative evaluation. Even in front of you there, in front of other students. I know there's something where a student in Mr. Ogeda's class at St. Paul's Ndega High School, and him being a teacher with the TSC, where he's tenured. As a tenured teacher, you cannot just send him away. You know that he reports to work on duty one day and they send him away. Go away, you have been fired. His tenure is protected. If a student does that to him, that student will go for expulsion or for suspension immediately. Mr. Ogeda, where I work, that's different. Your students are allowed to criticize negatively and positively about your lesson. And me as a professional teacher, a student who is giving me negative criticism, I like that student because the student wants me to improve. Because you criticize me, you tell me my weaknesses. The following time when I have a class, I'll work very hard to improve on those weaknesses. That is the culture here. They don't do it verbally the way we are doing it in class when we are training Chemite, you are coping up very well, that kudos. Here they do it online through what we call online survey. And when they do those online survey at the end of the class, the survey goes to the bosses immediately and they look at the graph, they look at the comments, and then they reach out to you. They call you for a meeting for 30 minutes. They discuss with you the evaluation from the students. These are what the students are saying. What do you have to say on this? And what is the plan? Do you have any plan on how to improve on this? And is there any way I can help as your boss? That is the culture. That culture is totally different. And that is something Nat and Kupet cannot buy, no matter what. No matter what, they can't buy that idea. But if you are unemployed and you need a job, you are suffering, you will have to admit and accept the culture. So this is the message we need to spread around because it wastes time for us to spend resources training people, get the skills, very expensive skills, and after getting the skills, we get them the job and they cannot work because of a difference in culture. Just a difference in
Now,
culture.
Pius,
Yes.
let me interject. Now,
Yes. Go ahead, please.
the issue of the available human resource.
Yes.
We also need to give Ogeda some time.
Yes.
But let me just mention this one very fast. The issue of data scientists.
Yes.
The way Blue Nile Analytica has put the package of data science is what is lacking here. So we don't have the human resource. That is why the likes of Moringa, the likes of Data School, they are there to bridge that gap. And I think as Blue Nile Analytica, we are even getting ahead of them because we are now trying to spread our tentacles throughout the country.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for your point. I see we have 4 minutes and Mr. Ogeda has not commented. Maybe
let me finish very fast.
Yeah, we'll extend it to 15
now,
minutes.
the issue of culture has to be worked on.
Yes.
Culture ya Kenya iko mbaya. We like a lot of lip service. We do a lot of lip service and you want to do none. But you see, in developed nations, outcome is very important.
Yeah, and Mr. Chemite, we had already talked about this for a very long time, that the pronunciation for my name in where I live and work, and I share these videos with them, is not Pius, is Pius. That is part of
okay.
That's
Thank
part
you very
of
much
the
for the correction.
That's part of the culture. I've already said also. I've already said also earlier that I just want to be referred as Pius Odhiambo, and even sometimes you teach them how to pronounce my name Odhiambo, Odhiambo, yeah, Pius Odhiambo. Don't add any title to my name, whether Mr., whether Doctor, all those projects, or the DJ. That's Pius Odhiambo. My first name, my last name. That's the culture here, because they will ask you, is Pius your first name or your last name? So your first name is your Christian name or the given name. And then your last name is your family name, the name you share with other members of the family. And that's very important. So the culture here is when you're referring to someone, first name, then last name. Pius Odhiambo, Reuben Chemite, Frederick Ogeda. The other name, if they ask you, you only give the initials, but that's when you are doing the paperwork. Okay, thank you very much. Now, before Mr. Ogeda talks, I want Mr. Ogeda to understand the reason why we are having this discussion and the reason why we have brought him here. Now, Mr. Reuben, no, let me remove Mr. Reuben. You agree with me that there's an opportunity that
it is a very big opportunity
need to exploit, all right?
Yes.
You are the link on the ground. You are the link between Blue Nile Analytica and the principal of the Eldoret National Polytechnic. This is where we need to start. So, moving forward, I'm authorizing you people, I'm authorizing Frederick and Reuben to initiate a conversation with the principal of the Eldoret National Polytechnic to buy this idea. After he buys the idea, organize for a meeting. We said we're going to meet every week, and our meeting should last only for 30 minutes. Bring him to my meetings on the weekends so that we can hear from him himself and let him advise how he can help in moving forward. Otherwise, I'd already written a letter to him. You did take that letter to him. I shared that letter with him on WhatsApp, and he responded. I also shared that letter via email, and he advised me to tell you, Reuben, to follow up with him. His office is very busy. So I expect you tomorrow, Monday, to go to the principal's office and remind him of the letter. And at the end of this meeting, I'm going to share these recordings with him on the WhatsApp, and he will be going to see what we have discussed. So he'll be expecting you tomorrow, very early in the morning, to follow up with the letter. Now, the thing is this, it depends on what he advises, because he's the first person among the 17 principals we are contacting. So we need to work with him collaboratively. And because through him, we can also get the other 17, the other 16. What he advises, which approach does he want us to take? Does he want us to empower the Eldoret National Polytechnic first to roll these programs? We talked about certificate in data science and diploma in data science. And then after the students have graduated with the diploma in data science, they can proceed with a bachelor's degree in data science. And so we are not talking about admitting students directly into the bachelor's degree in data science, Bachelor of Science in data science. You start with a certificate, you graduate, you move to diploma, you graduate. And if you have a good number that can start a degree program, then we start a degree program for them. So it will be gradual. So no direct admission for a degree program in data science at the polytechnics or TVET institutions. Now, let's talk about certificate in data science and diploma in data science. The universities, we are going to work with the 6 universities. Their minimum entry requirement for certificate in data science is C plain, KCSE, C in English, and C in maths or physics, or equivalent, Then for certificate, diploma in data science, the 6 universities, the admission requirements are C+ in KCSE, C+ in maths, then C+ in maths or English, or certificate in data science from Blue Nile Analytica, or equivalent. That's for the universities. Now for the polytechnics, what affirmative action can we give them? Now, this is affirmative action. The affirmative action is that when the university are admitting C for certificate data science, for the polytechnics, you can allow them to admit with C-. When the university are admitting C+ for diploma in data science, for the polytechnic, we can allow them to admit with the C. What does this mean? That when the students come, we'll offer bridging courses in maths, we'll offer bridging courses in English, so that we bring them up to that particular level. Those ones we'll call them college common units that are offered by the polytechnics and technical institute. Now, another thing is 10:03. We'll be ending the meeting in the next 15 minutes.
Mr. Okeda should give some...
Just a minute. In the next 12 minutes, and Mr. Okeda, we want to give you exactly 10 minutes. So I still have 2 minutes to make one point. Now, how will the public benefit from this? I believe when they're admitted to the Polytechnic and Technical Institute, they'll qualify for government funding, which offers free tuition in those colleges and some allowances. Now, what about the students? What advantage will you have through this program? Now, we have a few universities in Kenya, like Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology and the Cooperative University of Kenya, who have got a bachelor's degree in data science. There's also another university coming up in the next 1 year. It's called Open University of Kenya. They're also starting a degree in data science. Those are the only few universities I know in Kenya, and maybe the few in Africa. University of Nairobi have a master's degree in data science sponsored by the United States Institute of Health through the Columbia University, but they don't have lecturers. So they will train on lecturers from Columbia University. And there are only 2 universities, University of Nairobi and the University of Addis Ababa in the whole of Africa. Now, let me go back to the bachelor's degree at Jomo Kenyatta and the Cooperative University of Kenya. Jomo Kenyatta is in the 2nd year. I'm not sure which year the Cooperative University of Kenya is. Maybe they're in their 1st year or 2nd year. So the thing is this, for you to be admitted to a degree in data science, you must have scored either an A- or a plain A in KCSE. Now, the question is, how many Kenyans score A- or A? Very few. Very few. So by bringing this program to the public, we are giving them affirmative action, a chance that they did not have in their life to take a career or start a career in data science. And again, that is where we are bridging the gap. Now, we are not going to teach courses that the polytechnics have got the capacity to teach. If it is maths, they can teach it themselves. That one, they have to do it themselves. We will only teach those classes or courses that the polytechnics and the TVET institutions do not have the capacity to teach. And when we teach them, how do we benefit? We'll benefit through what is called a revenue sharing formula. Now, as Bulunal Analytica, do we decide on how much to charge? No. That one will be the function of the TVET or the function of the polytechnics. They decide this is what we are going to charge for this course. And as with Bulunal Analytica, in the revenue sharing arrangement, we'll only ask them, what is the revenue sharing formula? And it will be unit-based. If it is 37, 70, 30, or 45, 45, or 45, 55, or 50, whatever we shall agree on. So with those many remarks, I want now to give this chance to Mr. Ogeda. And Mr. Ogeda, we are bringing you in to offer administrative assistance to Ruben Chemitei so that he can roll out this program as soon as possible. The direction is going that it is going to take. Please consult the principal, the Eldoret National Polytechnic. If you want the Eldoret National Polytechnic to be a center of excellence for this program, and then the other TVET institute can come there for benchmarking, that is fine. If he advises that we roll them to all the 17 institutions all at a go, that is fine. But what we need the principals of 17 technical institutions to be looped in and be involved in this discussion. And Mr. Ogeda, you being the administrative administrative person to Mr. Ruben Chemitei, who is well conversant with the infrastructure, we want you to reach out with them within 1 month, introduce this idea to them. If possible, get them in one WhatsApp group and add me there so that we can talk together. See whether it's something they can buy or something they cannot buy. Now, concerning the government, let them write a proposal to the government and let the government approve. Us, we don't want to deal with the government directly. We want to deal with the consumers of the services we are going to offer directly. And who are the consumers? The consumers are the polytechnic, the TVET institutions. And who is the CEO of a national polytechnic or TVET institution is the principal of that particular institution. Those are the people that we want to deal with. They are our customers. We don't want roll from the top. We don't want to bulldoze. We need to understand their input. We need to get their input. We need to understand their needs, and we need to understand also their suggestions before we can come up with a customized product. Now, Mr. Chemitei, something that I did not tell you earlier, you are aware, you are one of the directors in this particular initiative, but you are all aware among the 4 directors, I'm the director with the highest share, over 80%. So Mr. Ogeda has been running a very successful program in my home village. And this program is called Kiswate. The website is there, www.kiswate.org. Kiswate means Kiswahili Tekelezi. Now, in this program, we are offering financial assistance to students from needy backgrounds to attend high school. And these students will also enroll in these programs in these technical ultimate institutions when they graduate from high school. Some of them will be graduating in the next 1 year, others have already graduated. So we pay for them fees. This money has been coming from my pocket, and the money from my pocket is not enough. And I would also like to sponsor a few students to take these courses in these TVET institutions. So the discussion we have had with Mr. Ogeda, I'm recalling him from his function, position as the community coordinator for Kiswate, to come up here and help us in mobilizing resources. Because once we have resources, once we have money, coordinating the community will not be a problem. So the money is the key thing. So the reason why Mr. Ogeda is here is, one, I told him that out of my shares in BNA, I'm going to dedicate 5% of the total revenues collected from all BNA initiative to go and pay the fees. So if he works, and during the annual general meeting, which is scheduled for February next year, the first one, and he doesn't see anything in your statement that 5% giving back to the community or Kiswate, he will be very, very much disappointed. That is why he's coming in to volunteer. We are not paying him anything. He's just a volunteer. And that is his intention. That is what is motivating him. Without that, he will not be here. I hope, Mr. Chemite, Robert, my point is clear. Do you have any question on that?
Yeah.
So during our
No, I don't have any question.
So during our meeting for directors, it is now upon you as one of the directors to go and brief the other directors when you are given a chance to talk, or under AOB, and brief them about what we plan to do with the TVET institution, the 17 TVET institutions. So, Mr. Ogeda, I think you now have some background on what we intend to do, and your job is simply reach out to these principals, the 16 of them. Mr. Ruben Chemte will help you get some contacts, phone numbers, and emails. And through all your network, you can also get some. I believe you don't need Mr. Ruben to get the contact for the principal of SIA Technical Institute and for Bondo TTC. The list there, we are going to give you that list. So that within 1 month, you shall have called these principals, convince them to join the WhatsApp group. If they cannot join, you ask them to nominate one person from those institutes to join the WhatsApp group. And by April 1st, by means latest April 1st, when you have already recruited them, you add me there so that we can initiate a discussion or a conversation about this project. And it will end up with a very big Zoom meeting in the form of a conference. Data science for TVET institutions. That will be the headline, Mr. Ruben. And as you are aware, we appeared in the, as you are aware, we appeared in the news recently. That will be one of the news items. Will be one of the news items. Huh? We'll bring in the newsmen to come and cover. So that is the thing. That's the mandate. That is what we want to do. Mr. Ogeda, you only have 2 minutes, but feel free. Take your time to express your point. You only have 2 minutes, but take your time to express your point. So with that kind of elaborate introduction from both Chemite, who is the convener of the idea, he's the one who owns the idea, and myself, the brain behind Blue Nile Analytica, please, can you have some time to let us know what you think and what is your advice? How do you want us to move forward? Because as an administrator, this is your thing. You'll only be advising Chemite that we have this function at this time. We need this. Can we do this? Can we do this? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ogeda. Please take it away.
All right, thank you, Bwana Pius Odhiambo and Ruben Chemutai. By now, I clearly understand the objectives of Blue Nile Analytica. I also now understand clearly my role as I am getting into the project. I must appreciate that the idea looks so great. And this is an idea which couldn't have come at a better time. What I want us to be very clear about is our objective as Blue Nile Analytica. What we are offering, we must be very clear on what we are offering to the institutions. So far, we are agreeing, we are offering the training, which already is ongoing. So we have experts who will be able to will be able to handle the training in the TVET institutions, which I think is one of the missing links. The institutions may have the courses, but we don't have who to train. So once Blue Nile caters for that, then we are now good to go. The other task which I want to describe as the Herculean task is to change the Kenyan thinking. Generally, Kenyans are, it's like we are now bringing in the idea of the 24-hour economy where you can work online and so on, which is not very common in Kenya. And this is, I'm terming this Herculean because we have to really convince these people that this thing is going to help turn the economy of not only the institutions, but the country at large. Although, Banapias, I heard you mention that for the beginning, you would not want us to engage the government directly. But I should like to think differently, that if need be, this being such a great idea, we should not fear to grab any opportunity to engage the government directly on this matter. Because if you are saying that if we offer this data science and we have so many people qualifying, then these people will be able to work online. We'll have a 24-hour economy. This thing is going to improve the Kenyan economy at large. I'm aware this is an idea that the ICT CS, Mr. Eliud Owalo, will be happy to hear about. Eliud Owalo is a Yoruba. In fact, I just learned I'm with him in the same wall, although we operate at different levels. So this is an idea he should love to hear about. So if I'm going to tell him that this data science, like you have mentioned, there are only 3 universities that are already offering this course. If you are saying now we want to bring this thing in Kenya in full, and we want it to get down to the TVET, where many students may not get this opportunity to get this kind of a course, and we convince him on how this course is going to turn around the Kenyan economy, this man should be able to support us. As I want to insist that what we need to be clear about is our objective, and then let us have those already the training also understand that they are going to come out to be very, very handy.
Yes,
to this program pick up.
Yes, Frederick. What do you mean by
Yes.
Yoba? What do you mean by Yoba?
Yoba is Yala All Boys Association.
Okay, thanks. Let me react to that. Now, through your Yala All Boys Association, we are giving you the task to engage the CS for ICT, Mr. Eliud Owalo, on our behalf, and let us know his reaction. So one thing that I did not say here is this. We are targeting Africa. We want to roll out what is called data revolution in Africa, because the rest of the world are already in data revolution era, but Africa has been left out. So as Africans in diaspora, we did agree and we did meet and agree that we need to bring Africa on board. And one way of bringing Africa on board is to make sure that we carry out a sensitization program so that they are aware of what is happening in terms of data, the importance of data, stuff like that. And so far, so good. So now, because charity begins at home, we are starting with Kenya. Now, I call it the prototype stage. The prototype stage will take between 2 to 4 years. Now, after the successful implementation of the prototype stage, we'll now move to another stage, which we call implementation stage. Now, when I talk about implementation stage, what do I mean? Now, we shall have now trained the institutions in Kenya to have the capacity to offer hands-on data science curriculum. Now they will have the capacity. The professors will be there, the lecturers will be there, the facilities will be there, the students will be motivated to take these courses. The job outsourcing, we shall have made contacts with those people in others through the government and what have you with those other countries and embassies, and now the jobs will be coming. Now, what do we need to do next? We need to export this idea. And one way of exporting this idea now through our network here in the United States, because in the United States or in diaspora, we have Kenya, we have Africans from almost all the African countries. We'll use that our network now to recruit trainees from those African countries to come and enroll for these courses in Kenyan universities and technical institutions. And when they come and enroll, how will we benefit? They'll be bringing foreign exchange to the country. They'll be bringing foreign exchange to the country. So what we need is just the support. It's just the support from whichever quarter, whether it's the government quarter, whether it's the TVET, whether it's the universities, what we need is just the support. Now, again, I did say in the clip that was aired in the news that data science is supposed to be a second degree. Why do I say that? Data science is supposed to be a second degree so that we have more data scientists being sent to the job market very quickly, because a 4-year degree on its own will take 4 years for a bachelor's degree. A master's degree like that one of the University of Nairobi will take 2 years for a graduate to be released into the job market. And the economy is suffering. The Kenyan government needs data scientists, at least one data scientist per each government department. The same applies to the county government. The same applies to these TVET polytechnics. We need a data scientist to help them understand their data. Let them know how to mine insights from their data and use that data for their business and to their advantage. Like Mr. Chemite here is from the Eldoret National Polytechnic. I won't be surprised, Mr. Chemite, with the training we've been giving you for the last 1 year, and we will continue training you for free if the principal of the Eldoret National Polytechnic appoints you to be the director of data science at the Eldoret National Polytechnic, if that position exists. And if that one happens, you shall have got a job, man, because we don't expect you as the director of data science at the National Eldoret Polytechnic, managing over 20,000 students from all counties in Kenya, plus another 500 students from over 50 countries in Africa to earn the same amount of money that the Public Service Commission is paying you. That will be a mockery. Yeah, that is where we are heading to. So it will be business. And when this happens, we'll need more tutors, we'll need more lecturers, we'll need more support staff, stuff like that. When we have a fully functional job center where jobs are outsourced from overseas and brought to Kenyans, Kenyans are working there, it will be operating on 24 hours, 24/7, 7 days a week, whereby the shifts are like this. At 7 a.m., we have a group getting in. They work up to 3 p.m. Those are 8 hours. Then at 3 p.m., another group gets in. They work up to 11 p.m. Those are 8 hours. Then at 11 p.m., another group gets in and they work up to 7 a.m. in the morning. Those are 3-hour shifts. And who is managing in the center? Who has got the idea? Who has got the skills? Who has been trained? Is none other than Mr. Ruben Chemite. So you work National Polytechnic job, day job, from 8 to 5. Then you go relax for 4 hours. You come, pick another shift at the center, work for 8 hours, go home, sleep for another 4 hours, and then go to your National Polytechnic job. Of course, any serious man should be able to sleep for a maximum of 8 hours, about 6 is good, but not continuously. In a shift. The culture of sleeping continuously for 8 hours continuously. We'll have to say bye to it. Sleep in shifts, but you sleep good, yeah, with money in the pocket. This is what we are
So,
talking about.
Banapas,
Yeah. So now I'm done. This is going to take 1 hour, man. I think 1 hour is good. Mr. Ogeda, back to you. Use the remaining 5 minutes the way you wish, and please remember to donate 1 minute to Mr. Chomitei to make his closing remarks, and then we end the meeting.
I think I was just winding up.
Yes.
By the time you interjected with, of course, another very important point. I appreciate the fact that you see that we shouldn't just stop at talking to the principals only. We have the overall man, the ICT CS, and he's one of our own. We should not fear reaching out to him. In fact, if it were possible, we would have engaged him first before we would go to the principals. So that should the principals ask the CS of his opinion that they are hearing some group called Blue Nile Analytica talking about data science being offered in the institutions. Is the CS aware? He would definitely tell them, yes, I've heard about it as well.
So, Mr. Ogeda, let's do this. Let's make it simple. You follow the path of engaging the CS because he is a member of Yoba, and you are there in Yoba, you can even go to his inbox. Mr. Ruben, as Mr. Ogeda does that, please take the initiative on engaging your principal and the 16 other principals, so that we have the two processes moving together, all right? Is that good, Mr.
That is fine.
Okay.
That will be fine.
Carry on, please.
Okay, that will be fine. Although I have to think about a process of meeting a CS now formally, because this may require formal engagement with him. Probably
get him through your Yoba. Get him through your Yoba.
In the Yoba,
find a way of meeting him formally, and let us know how we can help. If they need any support, something like that. Okay, Mr. Chemche, your closing remarks, please.
Now, I just want to first advise Ogeda. It seems one is a very busy man. In fact, when he came to the Polytechnic last Friday, he missed to plant a tree. And the fellows who are concerned with the tree were marveled because he basically came with a chopper, went to the principal's office, signed the book, went to open the lab, and he didn't take any tea, he didn't take any lunch, he didn't plant a tree. So it can tell you the kind of person he is.
It may take you 1 year to get a formal engagement with him.
I was advising Ogeda to strategize on how to meet that person.
Exactly.
So if it means traveling to Nairobi, I think it will be better.
And the principal will be very happy now, if you can meet him in advance. Okay, Mr. Chemche, go ahead, please. The meeting is ending.
Now I just want to make one. We need to have a common strategy on how we are going. I'm going to meet these principles. I think I will come out with a strategy and share with you so that you okay it, because it requires a strategy. It's a big opportunity, and we need to have a very workable strategy.
Yeah, we need that. We need that strategy before the week ends, and our next meeting will be next week, same time, same day, 5:30 to 6:30. I think 1 hour is good. 30 minutes may not be possible. 1 minute for me to end the meeting, and I'm stopping recording.